We met and talked several times, but Captain Mike is the one that actually took the lead on knowing where fuel was and the things that really mattered. We took some homemade freeze-dried meals for emergencies and quick meals, and oh Lord, did we eat the cheese and sausage. Seemed like everything we did. Mike worked extremely hard, several extra trips out on the boat, making sure we were ready. Joe had contacted the Grafton Police Department. They said they'd keep an extra eye out on the ramp area there where he left his truck. So we got shoved off, and it was an absolute beautiful morning. Everybody got their seats situated to go, and as we started, we discovered there's quite a bit of trash in the water. Mike was swerving and bobbing and weaving for the first 45 minutes to an hour. And now, as the trash cleared up, the sun came out. It was a scorcher. Everyone got their hats. I think Kenny might have brought those hats. We made it up by Harding, up by the bridge. Mike pointed out a little spot we might grab lunch on the way back. Of course, we didn't make it. How often do you see cows in the water? There are cows taking a swim in the river just north of Harding. Got a picture of quite a few pelicans. One thing I noticed, there were eagles everywhere, all the way up and down the trip. I don't know why I didn't get very many, if any, pictures of them. But everybody settled in to their favorite beverage, and off we went. There are distinct advantages to an all-guys trip. Peking Boat Club was our destination for gas and pit stop. The place was absolutely beautifully decorated. I asked the guy, and he told me that was his wife. That became pretty obvious when you took a look at the signs by the restrooms. Besides, the guy couldn't decorate like this. Oh, and Mike did get a chance to use his magnet that he brought. Well, actually, Kenny got to use it because this time, it was Mike's turn to drop the gas cap into the river. We did manage to see some bald eagles as we were cruising on our way to our first lock and dam, which is the Peoria Lock and Dam. We had a little bit of a wait, which everybody enjoyed, but after that we got on our way and headed through Peoria. Quite a bit to see in Peoria if you slow down and take a look, but there was one thing in particular that we had been tracking for days and days, and we're so excited to be able to see this. Check this out. 71-year-old Robert Ewan set out to complete the Great River Loop in a John boat. His goal was to set a new solo speed record. The Great Loop involves traversing a network of rivers, lakes, and canals along the East Coast, through Canada, and back to the Gulf. We'd been tracking Mr. Newens for a long time before our trip began. We were very fortunate to run across paths with him. We met him in the Peoria pool, stopped. It was honestly one of the highlights of the trip for me. Robert Ewan finished that 6,000-mile trip in 19 days, 13 hours, and 1 minute, beating the previous record by 6 hours. If Robert wasn't enough excitement, we had a little bit of a Hell's Angels on water. These guys were just cruising. They were down hanging out with Robert, seeing him, and then they decided to give us a show. pretty much smooth sailing. Went up past Henry where we'd stayed before, and we made it without any problem all the way up to where we're headed in Hennepin. Got the boat pulled in, secured, and headed up the steps to get to our Airbnb. It was an awesome place. Joe picked it out, paid for it and everything, got us all set up. We got in there and it was absolutely beautiful evening. Mike had a little wrestle royal with the couch, and then this is where Kevin joined us. This guy knew everything about Chicago and quite a few things. They always teased Mike about sleeping, but Mike does not sleep. He just pretends to be sleeping. Day 2 of our trip was going to be Hennepin up to Waukegan, Illinois, up through Chicago. The guys were getting their beauty sleep as we headed up towards Starved Rock. This one churned quite a bit more than many of the other locks that we went on. We never could really get a clear answer from the guys why one filled quicker than the other. Kind of took it personal a couple times, but I'm sure they have a method to their madness.
Yeah, these are all inlets in the lock.
After a quick stop for fuel, we ended up heading straight out of there, and it's not far from one lock to the next after you get this far up the river. It all seems to be smooth sailing with sceneries till we got to Dresden Lock and Dam. We figured out there was a lot of waiting and a lot of sitting. These locks and dams were not built for us. I think this one was 3.5 hours before we finally got through. Here's a picture of Mike coming up. There he is, having to clean them pumps out to keep us on the road. Brandon Road Lock and Dam went pretty smooth as well. You can see there's quite a bit filling up, and this one, they rolled the water into this one for us too, and got us on our way. While our captain kept us on track, we were quickly discovering that the marinas up ahead we'd planned to buy fuel all closed at 4:30. Sitting at some of these locks for 3 hours did not help us. We did make it to Lockport Lock and Dam, and this one we put our money on how high it was before we got in. This was deep and awesome. This is when the trip really started to become real. The canal was narrow, a lot of industrial along the sides, but it was pretty amazing. Joe took the helm quite often and actually navigated us through the electrical waters. There was a few barges, and Joe had to shoot the hole on this one. A little tight. The water was pretty nasty and smelled, really, but when you looked around, there was wildlife everywhere. I guess they live in nasty areas. Here was our first glimpse of the city. As we started pulling in, you seen that the people had a sense of humor, I guess. Here come the skyscrapers. navigating downtown Chicago through these canals was no small feat with the different boats and things like that. I am extremely glad we had Mike as our captain. He knew what he was doing and was able to keep everything under control without any problems whatsoever. Check this boat out. This guy, we passed it. They are having dinner in there at tablecloths and a full bar. Check that out. These poor saps, they had to get up against the edge to keep from getting swamped. The scenery, it was just amazing. You just couldn't take it all in. Here we are going past the Navy Pier. We're coming up on it and getting ready to head out into Lake Michigan. As I said, the waits at the lock and dams held us back quite a bit longer than what we thought, but look at this view. Unbelievable. We decided we were not going to make it to our destination. We stopped at Belmont Harbor and tied our boat up in a courtesy dock. We hoped that's what it was. Got online and tried our best to pay for the slip. Never did get a hold of anybody. We left the secure gate. Kenny got us a Uber and got on our way for a little hour drive up to our second Airbnb. Check this place out. Joe did an amazing job hooking us up with these spots. Kevin was a lifesaver for us too because, like I said, he knew his way around. He hooked us up with train tickets and knew where to get on, where to get off. I was like a little country bumpkin, didn't know what was going on, but that was amazing. We waited here and for another Uber, and check it out, they stripped that bike down. My only regret was that we didn't take them little scooters. Instead, we grabbed another Uber and headed back to the marina and picked up our boat. This is no Carlisle Lake. These waves were up and down. I thought we were gonna croak, and then I look over to the side and there's all these little sailboats with kids in them. I guess we just need to man up and hit the water.
See this on Carlisle? No worries. Well, time-wise, yeah. Mileage-wise, it's about halfway. We went through half a tank. So, mileage-wise, yeah. But I don't remember seeing it. I did walk through the
There was.
That thing is cold, dude. 58 there? That's...
Lakeshore Drive.
I'm gonna dig a hole. I doubt it. I'm in the water. Just dig it real quick. Go home, dig a hole.
I guess they do that if your wake's too big. I like it's designed just to wash boats because the boats come through here dirty.
Well, we got a storm coming our way. It's not like we're not going to get hit.
Yeah, but I'll stay dry as long as I can.
thought that was all a little too majestic to be talking through. Wanted to let you have it as natural. But what a great group of guys. As we were leaving the city, you could tell when you left downtown. Things looked a little bit different the further you got. Putting the city in our rear view had some really neat aspects to it, but you could tell that you were near a city. It wasn't just trash and debris getting sucked into those jet motors of our captain. These people were treating their sewer and dumping it right in the water. You could smell it. It was not good at all. They do manage to come, I guess this is a work program for convicts, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if them guys got out of the way, but we certainly did. They're predicting 2 inches of rain coming our direction. We got underneath the bridge and hid out as long as we could take it, but we couldn't sit there forever. It was good to catch up on a little screen time. But too much of this, we had to hit the road. Well, a couple of us bared with the weather conditions, and others managed to stay out of the way and stay sheltered. Mark used deflection to do so, and the 2 younger fellows were a lot smarter than us. While Mike and I stayed out there and faced it, these 2 crawled underneath into safety. If nothing else, this trip taught us to be flexible. Mark was going to be late getting to work. He wasn't going to make it. So we ended up having to drop him off on the side of the road there, and he caught a Uber back to his car. Coming back through the locks and dams put us late as become our mode of operation, but it did let us practice some night navigation. Thank God the flashlight my son Josh gave me was able to reach a mile or 2. Outstanding flashlight, by the way. That's hilarious. How'd you meet them?
They were just at the gas station.
They pulled up right as we were walking up.
They pulled up, we pulled up. We're just meant to be.
Tighten your beam up a little bit, would you?
That's as tight as it goes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a little tighter.
Another good view of the nighttime navigation in progress. We got to this lock and dam, and the guy wanted to know why we were running so late. We told him we did not anticipate waiting 3.5 hours at every lock in order to get through. But we made it. After a few hours of slow navigation and feet warming and unloading of some of the provisions, we did make it back to Hempen Marina about 3 a.m. in the morning. One would think that getting in at 3 means you don't get up at 4:30, but that's not the case with our captain. He was a slave driver. We did manage to talk him into staying in Hempen for one more night and checking things out, just having a chill day before we powered back. After being at the helm as long as he had, Mike drove us past scenery after lock and wildlife and boats, and Joe ended up having to take over for him. Joe was always great to jump onto the helm and give Mike a little bit of rest. When the captain can't rest above deck, there's only one solution. As we got closer to Grafton, it was time to look behind us and say goodbye as we pulled into the Grafton Harbor. Look at that prop blast from the ferry. It was really good to have Mike as our captain as he navigates through the prop blast and still is able to land it on that trailer. Cross wind and across current. Outstanding. We all met over at Mike's the next morning, although I feel I was more just in the way, but the boat got a bath, cleaned up, and ready for the next one. Our 5-day journey consisted of over 600 miles. We averaged 2.7 miles per gallon, which meant we burnt 218 gallons of gas. We went through 14 lock and dams, which we waited a total of 28 hours going through them on a trip that lasted 5 days. Can't wait to do it again. Maybe we'll go south.